cost of ambition. Late nights, early mornings. Hey lovelies, this is the Weekly Tea, which is a weekly segment where I discuss what's been going on in the news, and I of course am Tara LaShawn. I know I'm late with this tea. I'm so sorry guys. There was a lot going on last week, including this crazy Texas weather. And so for me, when it rains, my allergies go into just being so it's kind of hard for me to actually do a video where I wasn't going to be sounding like a 14-year-old boy. So, but hey, I'm back. Yay. All right. So we're going to go back into what has happened, and we're going to go forward full speed, okay? Now, one thing that did happen, I have to say rest in peace to actor Bill Nunn. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's more famous for playing Radio Raheem on Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And we were first introduced to him in Spike Lee's School Days as Lawrence Fishburne's country roommate, Grady. But he died on September 24th in his family home in Pittsburgh. He was 63. He is a Morehouse alum. Of course, him and Spike Lee, good friends. His wife, Donna, she told the Associated Press that it was due to leukemia. So, rest in peace to him. Any Spike Lee production, majority of them, he was in. Stuff flying around my room, I'm sorry. He was in a lot of movies. If you look him up, he has just tons of movies. He was in Kiss the Girls. He was in Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. Yeah. True crime. He was in a couple of episodes of New York Undercover, Mad City. He was currently doing the TV series Sirens. So yeah, rest in peace to Radio Raheem. It makes me want to just go into work with a radio on and just blasting Public Enemy. My boss is gonna frown on that. Moving along, there was also the South Carolina shooting that happened where a 14-year-old unleashed fire on a school playground, and there was a victim, a 6-year-old Jacob Hall, and he died this past Saturday from being shot. His mother, Renee Hall, she spoke for her son. She called him a superhero. And she said, Jacob was forgiving. What happened to Jacob forgives already. He's in heaven smiling down on us. He's asking his mommy to be able to be strong to forgive just like he would. And that is so sad. A 6-year-old child. That's completely heart-wrenching. And the 14-year-old who shot him, he's going to be charged as a juvenile. He was actually charged Friday as a juvenile on one count of murder and a death. He also, before he even got to Jacob, he killed his father. He was driving around. He drove into a car lot, and he was opening fire on people, but no one was injured there. At the school, there was a teacher who was injured in shot in the arm, the shoulder. Yes, a female teacher was wounded, but with Jacob, he was shot in the leg, but it hit his artery, so that led to a lot of blood loss and cardiac arrest. And today, Monday, his arrangements are going to be made, and I think they do have a GoFundMe page for his funeral. The guy, the teenager who did it, the information, his name is being withheld. He had been homeschooled, and at the time his mother worked at the school. So, thinking that this is where he just wanted to get revenge on his parents, and he went to the school to do that, but killed innocent bystanders. And really, I hope that they get I feel there's something deeper with the 14-year-old, so I hope they get into what's going on with him, what made him do it. I'm saying for myself, I think there's something a little bit more going on for him to be so young and decide that he's going to do this. Do I think he needs to get off for murder? No. You do know the difference between right and wrong, but I do want them to do a psychological evaluation of him. That's me. That's my point. Moving along, I'm getting all the death and the tragic stuff out of the way because I'm going to get into the debate, and that's going to be, oh my gosh. I had to rewatch it a couple of times. I was like, did this really happen? And at first I was like, this is intense, because I was like, I don't know what Trump is going to say. But I'm going to get into that in just a moment. Shorty Low, who's a rapper, he's part of D4L, known for Laffy Taffy. I'm trying to get this. I'm sorry, guys. There's this little gnat flying around my apartment, flying around my house, and I want it to leave me alone. It's been messing with me for 2 videos now. Okay. So his funeral services were held this past Saturday. And everyone was in Atlanta. They gathered to say goodbye to him. His real name was Carlos Walker. So his funeral was held at Jackson Memorial Baptist Church, and everyone was there. I mean, he was killed in a car accident. He had 2 women as passengers. They came out of it uninjured, but he, 40 years old, lost his life. After the funeral service, they took the hearse to his favorite spot, which was the strip club. Now, I don't know how to okay, if that was his request, okay. But I had to watch the video on the Shade Room, because when I first heard it, that they took his body to the strip club. I'm like, I'm thinking like everyone else, did you guys take the casket in there and have the strippers dance around? What did you do? But they just it looked like they just casually drove up near the strip club, and they were like, and drove off to go bury him. But I was thinking the worst. Like, did y'all like prop him up in the strip club? Because they're doing this nowadays with people's funerals. They're propping them up places and making it like they have a party. There has become themed funerals. And I'm in Dallas, and there's one funeral home, Golden Gate, and yeah, I'm talking about you. Golden Gate, they do themed funerals. They did a barbecue theme for a guy where his casket was like a grill, because he was like the rib king or something. A Christmas theme. They had a show that came on a cable channel, and it was very short-lived. And they do a lot of themed funerals. So this has become a popular thing. I'm gonna get off that. And then there was this disgusting video that came out this week of a Houston police officer who was beating a homeless man. The homeless man is sitting on a bench by the train station. They approach him, ask him a couple of questions. The guy, he takes his baton out, and he just goes to town on this poor man. And I guess people were like, oh my gosh, you should be shocked, because this isn't a white officer, this is a black officer, an African-American officer doing it to an African-American man. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even see that. I see the police abusing a police officer abusing his power against someone else. And it was disgusting. I'm trying to see where that gnat is going. I'm gonna kill it. your days are numbered. You will never be a fly. But yeah, it was just disgusting. And the guy, he resigned the next day, and his partner was trying to restrict him to his best ability, because this guy was just waving his baton, and he was trying to be calm and like stop, but the officer went so far as to pull the guy's pants down, and like he was giving him a wood paddling spanking. So it's my whole thing. I really, 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 really would like for police officers to calm down. And I know that they have a very stressful job. I'm one of those people, when I go to certain stores that have police officers there standing guard, I will just strike up a conversation with them. Really, I wish a lot of them would just think before they act. There are certain cases where violence is not the answer. And in the case where the female officer shot the guy, she's claiming that she didn't hear. She had a moment where her hearing was gone, and so she didn't know what was going on, and she just acted. So, I mean, you know what? The unnecessary violence, it just needs to stop. It needs to stop. And when I saw the video and everything, it was on my friend's page, and she has a group that's on Facebook. Let me look it up real quick. I think it's No Violence, No Justice, but I'm gonna look it up for you guys. But she, I also put on for her that, you know, when I used to work in downtown Dallas, that I had a lot of homeless people come into the job. And what I did was, I was a clerk. I was an administrative assistant. So I would find jobs for them to go out, and it was mostly construction, things of that sort. And so they had gotten one guy who I was really, really fond of. His name is Kevin. And Kevin was homeless. And his story was that he was from Michigan. His wife was a nurse. He was a veteran. And he came back from the war. And he wasn't right. And he needed help. He ended up assaulting his wife. She kicked him out. He became homeless, and because he turned to alcohol to cope with what he had experienced. And it was so sad to see these guys come in here. And one day he came in, and he was just all battered and bruised. And I was like, what happened to you? What happened to you? And I'm thinking, it's another guy on the street that did it. And he told me that it was the police. He said, you know, this happens all the time. They get bored. They drive up. They pull us over. They ask us, what are we doing? And they go to beating on us. And I was in shock. And I was like, but this really happens. And so I'm not here for the police violence. I want, in the words of Rodney King, can we all just get along? I mean, really, can we get along? Can we? I really wish we could. I'm going to look up her. I believe it's No Justice, No Peace. But I want to make sure before I just put that out there. No Action, No Peace. Okay, so look her up on Facebook. No Action, No Peace. Okay? Thank you very much. So, moving along. Bill Cosby. What? Let's say this. The statute of limitations is going to end in California next year. So there will be no more of a 10-year time limit for rape victims, for the statute of limitations for rape. So the 10 years out of there. So no more. And it's happened in 17 other states as well. I hope it continues to happen. Bring it to Texas. I believe anyone... there are rape kits. I know they sit there for so long because they have to be processed. And you know what? I really hope all these pedophiles and these rapists, I hope they get it. I really do. And if you did not know, I am totally totally an advocate. And I have experienced sexual assault. He may be walking around thinking he got away scot-free, but I know that you reap what you sow. And the thing about it is, I do forgive him. I had to forgive him for myself, not for him. I do forgive him, but the thing is, with assault, for someone to take advantage of you and not have any remorse for it or feel like they've done anything wrong, that is a just a horrifying experience to go through and be like, you don't feel like you did anything wrong to me? You didn't feel like you... And then most people, they're only sorry when they get caught. But I'm going to get off that. But yes, statute of limitations for rape victims, California, wiped out. So what brought this to attention was Bill Cosby and the women who came out and accused him of sexual assault, which goes back to 20 years ago. And I mean, I'm not, you know him from what you see. But we always know what you see is not always who that person is. What they present to you, that's their representative. That's not really them. So for this many, it was 30 women who came out saying this. So something had to happen, you know. And I was listening to a report on rape, and the guys were saying in this report, they're like, people try to think that it is a crime where you don't know the person. Like you're walking in a dark alley and you get pulled in and you're raped and that's it. He's like, no, most accusers are people you know, who have gained kind of your trust, where you can trust yourself to be around them. You know, you don't feel threatened by them. And that's true. Most rapists are people that you know. Most rapists are the victims, they knew them, or they knew enough about them to know it. So he is the reason, Bill Cosby is the reason why it came to effect in California. So, you know, and he's walking around, he's halfway blind and everything, and I mean, I'm just like, you know what? You played a great character on TV, but I don't know who your character is. Your character is outside of television. Excuse me. I don't know who your character is outside of television. So I can't say if you did this or not. But truth comes with time. And if you did do it, you are... So let's go on to the first debate that happened last week with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And I want to say to you people on Facebook, I hate you, because you guys had some killer memes going out. Somebody had a meme where it was it was a poster from Freddie versus Jason, and they were like, this is Hillary and Trump. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm not going to make it any secret, I am not for Trump. I mean, I feel that he is unqualified in politics. I feel like he's unqualified. I feel like he's a businessman, shady businessman, but he's a businessman. So he's trying to run this, he's trying to do everything as if he's running for the president of a company, not the president of the United States. I don't feel he's really qualified. Now, Hillary, I'm not that crazy about Hillary either, but she is more polished and more, has a little bit more political knowledge than Trump. Okay, so I will say that. Donald Trump, he went into the debate, and of course he brought up the infidelities. He brought up Bill Clinton's affair with Monica Lewinsky and everything, and he's like, you know, he brought up the impeachment, and we're like, Trump, really, can you do that? How many times have you been married? Okay, and then your new wife, who you have such a problem with people of Hispanic, Mexican, Spanish descent, and your wife is, she's like Hispanic or Latin or something, and also pose for Playboy and everything. I'm like, come on now. Okay, so Bill and Hillary had a little bump, and they had a bump in their marriage. Please give me an American president who was not in the White House, who was not kind of taking advantage and sleeping with multiple people. I mean, that's something I feel is different from politics, that deals with their marriage. Okay, with their marriage. Okay, JFK, Marilyn Monroe. Come on, did that make him a bad president? Maybe as a man, that was a X, but as a president, it's kind of, I kind of separate the two. But Hillary went on to tell him that, you know, he's very cruel towards women, and that let's see, the whole notion of trying to get Hillary Clinton to pay for Bill Clinton's infidelities is just strategically a bad choice. And that came from Katie Packer, a longtime Republican strategist, and she opposes. And this is what gets me. How did he become the person for GOP? How? When so many people hate him, so many Republicans despise him, they are so not for him being a representative of a candidate of their party. And I know they have more qualified candidates that are Republicans than Donald Trump. Is this just about business? Is this just for him to get his money or whatever? Because I mean, he released his tax returns, but if they were from 95. Come on. This guy has filed bankruptcy how many times? And he's coming after Hillary. He's calling her shady. Baby, you're shady. So, and then it went to him and Rosie O'Donnell. Did he really feel that the way he tormented her all these years, he bullied her, and he's like, she deserved every bit of it. So Rosie O'Donnell went to Twitter, and she's like, you know what? He's an orange anus. I'm like, oh my God. Orange anus. I'm like, Rosie O'Donnell. And people were getting on Rosie, and they're like, well, you've dished it out all these years or whatever, so you can take it. You've talked about people or whatever. But, you know, I know their beef started a long time ago over something just really minute. But no one, you say a couple of words, you move on. But it seems like every time Rosie O'Donnell was in the headlines, Donald Trump had to reply or respond to something she was doing. This is how I saw it. She donates to charity. He comes in and calls her sloppy or da 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 da. It was just like continual harassment, and it was just like, oh my gosh, dude, find something else to do besides run for president. So, and then Donald Trump says he didn't want to really get on Hillary because Chelsea was in the audience. I'm like, Chelsea's grown, please. She's heard it all. He is steady on the Giuliani. In New York, you know, they stop people from, if you look suspicious, they stop you. So Trump is all about this. He's like, we should do this. This would cut down on all the violence that's going on. You know, you see someone that looks suspect, you search them. You search them right there. And I'm like, that did not fly in New York, and it's not going to fly anywhere else. So, basically this, and you know, the poor guy trying to conduct it, he did a good job, but they needed someone stronger. And I saw a meme where it was like they needed Samuel L. Jackson to come in and be in that. But they went on to, I mean, his treatment of women, which I think is very disgusting. you know, his attack on the former Miss Universe, you know, they were going over that. Look, Trump is just not qualified to be president, and if he does become president, I see him being impeached very quickly. And I know a lot of people, conspiracy theories, they're like, the president is not really even the president that's running everything. They're just the forefront man. But I wouldn't want Trump to be the forefront man. You cannot control him. He is a loose cannon. And then Hillary actually spoke about his ability to just go off. And he was like, no, I'm a very controlled person. And then after the debate, there was a video surfacing of him throwing a temper tantrum. So, oh my gosh. You have this 2-year-old trapped in this 70-year-old person with a bad wig toupee, and it's just going crazy. And he's like, I don't pay taxes, that makes me smart. No, everyone pays taxes. You gave us a tax return from 11 years ago. I know you haven't filed taxes since 1995. Isn't that a criminal offense? That's a crime, right? Because any other person who hasn't filed taxes and made money in that time, they get what I call Wesley Sniped, tax evasion. You know, come on. What gives him the right to have such a free pass? I'm just asking. So, the next debate is going to be Sunday, October 9th. I cannot wait for this. This one, and people are like, Trump won or whatever. Trump did not answer a single question to the best of his ability. He did not answer watching the debate, it reminded me of the movie The Campaign with Will Ferrell, and I felt like Trump was Will Ferrell. You're just taking what's given to you and you're taking it to a whole nother place to just drift people's attention away from you. No. I actually had a nightmare about Trump. That me and my brother, we were at something he was doing here in Dallas, and he was speaking, and he actually came up to shake our hands, and we were looking at him like, so that was the weekly tea. That's what's been going on. So I will return regular scheduled time. We'll have Spill the Tea Tuesday. That's going to be on Tuesday morning. I will be on the radio this Wednesday, October 5th, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, TMIRadio.com, The Tara LaShawn Experience. We are talking about the male perspective. So I will definitely be on there. And I will come back with another weekly tea. And, thank you so much, my lovelies, for being so patient with me. Guys, there's going to be so many new things happening, and I'm just so excited, okay? So, have a good week. I will see you for the next tea.